Hello everybody, welcome back to Ouroboros Tarot. Today we are going to be looking into how they think you are currently feeling, and I have 4 groups for you to choose from today. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, and Group 4. Go ahead and pause this video, take as much time as you need to find the pile that sits right with your energy as well as with your person's, and I will see you in a minute. Hello Pile 1. So today's pick a card reading is looking into how they think that you are feeling. And so first and foremost, we're going to look into how your person is currently feeling about you. We'll also look into how they think that you are currently seeing them, how they think that you are feeling, and then we'll pull some cards to see how their assumptions are making them feel. So to start, Pile 1, when it comes to how your person is currently feeling about you, we have the Orphan, and we have number 11 by the book. So what this is telling me is that there may have been a falling out of some kind or a disagreement of some kind. There's distance here currently between the two of you, and this person feels your absence profoundly. And feels very much so like they've been left in the dark, they've been left behind, like you're moving on. But with by the book here, there's also an element of them feeling as though perhaps they don't necessarily know how to fix this. They don't necessarily know how to come back together. There's this desire here within them to make peace. There's this desire to do things the right way. But I get the feeling that right now in this moment, they're unsure of how to go about that. So that's what I'm seeing for how they're currently feeling about you. They feel left behind. When it comes to how they think you are currently seeing them, we have the hummingbird, and we also have the swan and Don Juan. And the light attribute is spotlights your positive, seductive qualities, and the shadow attribute is using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. And I get the feeling that they're under the impression that you are seeing them currently as somebody who is untrustworthy, somebody who is out for their own pleasure or their own satisfaction without regard to consequences or without regard to the effect that might have on others. They're also viewing themselves or thinking that you view them as somebody who perhaps does not know how to go about things the right way, doesn't navigate things the right way, who perhaps is the person who caused this connection to become in shambles. They're under the impression that you're viewing them as somebody who led this connection into a place in which it can't be returned in a positive way. Like they just did. It seems like they feel like you don't think they know what they're doing. You think that they're somewhat aimless. With the swan here, this person could be an artist of some kind, like an aspiring artist, an aspiring musician of some kind, something like that. There's definitely an artistic quality here that's coming through very strongly with the swan. But I get the feeling that this person right now is really in a place of insecurity, and so everything that I'm sensing from these cards is showing me that they don't necessarily feel as though you see them in a positive light. It seems like you see them more so in the light of somebody who has a lot of potential, but who never really quite reached it, somebody who let you down. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing for how they think you see them. So if that has resonated, let's go ahead and pull tarot and look into how they think you are currently feeling about them. Okay, how does Pile 1's person think that they are feeling about them? Think that Pile 1 is feeling about them. How does Pile 1's person think that Pile 1 is currently feeling? Okay, so we have the 3 of Pentacles, the King of Swords, the Four of Cups, Okay. How do I want to take this? I think I want to take the top one. Yeah, the Two of Wands, or the bottom one. I guess maybe I should take the top one since I said it. Okay, so we have the Three of Pentacles, the King of Swords, the Four of Cups, the Two of Wands, and the Six of Swords. How do they think they're currently feeling? We have the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Cups. Okay. The Knight of Cups, the Moon, and Temperance. And then on the back of the deck, we have the King of Wands. Okay. So, how does your person currently think that you're feeling? So the first thing that I would say is that they're under the impression that you are unwilling, you don't have a desire to fix this, you don't have a desire to make this right, you don't have a desire to try to work on things with this person. It seems more so like you feel, according to them, like you've done all that you can, is a really big thing that I'm getting with the Three of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. They're under the impression that you feel as though you've done everything you can to try to make this connection work, to try to get this connection to go in a positive direction. And at this point, you don't know what else you can do. And you don't necessarily want to work on it anymore. The King of Swords and the Eight of Cups is telling me that you feel, according to them, you're feeling as though the damage has been done, and the damage has been done on their end. They're under the impression that you feel as though you've been wounded in some sort of way because of their behavior, because of the choices that they made, because of the words that they used. And now you are seeking happiness, seeking peace elsewhere. The Four of Cups and the Knight of Cups is telling me that they feel as though you feel like if they were to come forward, it would not be well received, like they have nothing to offer you anymore. This person definitely has this element of feeling defeated, of feeling as though they've lost you. I don't know if perhaps there was a betrayal of some kind with the Moon here and the Two of Wands. This is telling me that there is an element of things not really necessarily appearing as they actually are. There's illusions, there's fears here, and because of this, you don't necessarily know which way to turn, which way to go, what choices to make, and they feel as though it's their fault. It's their fault that you are choosing to step away from this rather than try to come up with a way in which to make this work, or in which to fix this. And the Six of Swords and Temperance is telling me that the strongest desire you have in their eyes is to simply have peace in your life, is to simply move away from something toxic and into something that is beneficial to your growth, is beneficial to your evolution. And they don't feel as though you are considering them somebody who is beneficial to your growth. With the King of Wands here, the biggest thing that I'm getting is that they feel as though you are stepping into your power. So perhaps in the past, this was a connection that you kind of stepped away from your own values or your own truths because you wanted this so badly, and they're realizing that they don't necessarily have a hold on you anymore. It seems as though you know what it is that you want, and this isn't it. And keep in mind, this is from their perspective, but this message is coming through pretty strongly. There seems to be an element here of them feeling as though they've missed their chance. They've missed their chance. Perhaps they treated you very poorly in the past, and had they come forward sooner, there may have been an opportunity to make this right. And now they feel as though they're too late. They're too late in some way, shape, or form. But let's go ahead. If I can find it. Okay, here it is. Let's go ahead and look into how they are currently feeling about the assumption they've made about your feelings. How does this make them feel? How does this make them feel? Okay, so we have spirits to guide you. The first thing that comes to my mind when I saw that was they feel lost. Cast your sacred symbols. Number 63. There's another one here. We have smother. Okay, I'm going to get one more. How does this make them feel? Okay, we have two more. We have fire mother and everything will be okay. This is really interesting. Okay, so what I would say, pile 1, is that the assumptions that they've made when it comes to how you are feeling is something that really overwhelms them, because if they are in fact accurate in what it is that you're feeling, they are recognizing that they have a lot more work on their plate than what they originally had thought, and this overwhelms them. They feel very overwhelmed by the assumptions that they have made. And I get the feeling that because they're overwhelmed, there's this element of like kind of throwing their hands up into the air with spirits to guide you and everything will be okay. There's an element of throwing their hands up in the air to this and hoping for the best outcome rather than working for it. Right now, that's kind of what's coming through, is this element of like really, really wanting something, but recognizing that perhaps right now it's not the right time. But with cast your sacred symbols and fire mother, a part of what I'm getting is that they feel as though they're protected in some kind of way, or that this connection is protected in some kind of way, and that the outcome in which they desire will happen. It's just going to take a little bit more effort, a little bit more time on their end in order for this to become what it is that they want. And they're having to, with fire mother here, what I get is that they're having to accept where this connection is at, as well as regroup and find a new manner in which to go about this. Yeah. And I get with fire mother and smother here, I also feel as though they're very concerned about overwhelming you or smothering you or taking away your peace is something that's definitely coming through as well. But let's go ahead and get you some advice. Let's see. Do I have advice cards here? I do not. Let me pause this and I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Let's go ahead and get you some advice for your situation. We have abundance. I am a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. What advice is there for pile 1 when it comes to their connection? And we have regret. I know that I cannot change the past. So there's definitely an encouragement here of acceptance of what has gone on. Or if not acceptance, perhaps letting go. Let's see what else comes through. What advice is there for pile 1 when it comes to their connection? Okay, we have, I'm going to go ahead and take both of them. So we have boundless love. Today I'll open my eyes a little wider and walk a little taller, noticing that the world around me is filled with tiny miracles. With this in mind, it's easy to fall in love over and over again with everything from honeybees to neon signs. And while I'm feeling this inspired and this in love, everything else sort of falls into place. And we have integrity. I align with the center of myself, a glowing core of personal integrity. Emanating from this core is the knowledge that I never have to compromise who I am or what I want for anybody. I can live a life that doesn't include settling, unless I want to settle, in which case settling would be my idea of perfection and would cease to be considered settling. Paradoxes hurt. All right, pile 1, well, this is what I'm seeing for you today. If this resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. I genuinely love hearing about those kinds of things and how things have resonated, so please feel free to comment if you feel so inclined. I do have personal readings. If you're interested in booking one with me, you can do so in my Etsy shop. The link is in the description box down below. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to read for you, and I hope that you subscribe so that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye! Hello, Pile 2. So today's pick a card reading is looking into how they think you feel. And before we get started, we're going to look into how they're currently feeling about you. We'll look into how they think that you are currently seeing them. And then we'll get into how they think you feel, as well as how that assumption that they've made is making them feel. So, Pile 2, to start, we have, in terms of how they are feeling about you, we have the Vision and number 40, co-create. So this person definitely sees a future with you, has a particular outcome in mind that they are desiring with you, and it's like tunnel vision. What I'm getting is that they have tunnel vision. They're really hoping that you have the same desire for the same outcome as them. They want to create a life with you of some kind, or a relationship, a connection with you of some kind. This person seems to be manifesting something that has to do with you. They're either manifesting you back into their life. They're either that, or they're manifesting a future that has to do with you. This person really, really desires you, really desires to have a specific outcome, and seems pretty dead set on it. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. They see you as somebody, like, I get the feeling that they're feeling as though you're a partner, or a potential partner in which they would do well with. They feel as though there's compatibility here. And if things aren't on the right track, they have a strong desire for things to get back to the way that they used to be. So that's what I'm seeing for how they're currently feeling. Let's go ahead and look into how they currently think you are seeing them. Whoops, sorry about that. So we have Moose, and the key word for Moose is release. We also have Starfish and the Poet. The light attribute of Poet expresses soul insights in symbolic language, and the shadow attribute turns a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. So this person thinks that you're seeing them. This person is under the impression that you know exactly how they feel. They think that you're seeing them as somebody who's been direct in their intentions with you, has been clear in what it is that they want. And they also feel as though you are seeing them as somebody who perhaps you see through. The Starfish here is a very, it's very much focused on appearances, very much focused on what other people think. And I get the feeling that they feel as though you see them as somebody who's been trying really, really hard to capture your attention, to catch your eye, to prove to you that they're a good partner. But it might seem as though they're coming across as insecure in their mind to you, or like superficial in some sort of way. With the Moose here, I get the feeling that they're also feeling as though you see them as somebody who has perhaps in the past had a need to control, had a need to explain things to you, or treat you as though you don't know what it is that you're doing, or that they perhaps have a better outlook or a better opinion, better thought process to whatever is going on. And I get the feeling with release here that and that's a very specific example. It could really be anything, because with release here, what I'm sensing is that they feel as though you see them as somebody who recognizes certain faults or certain characteristics that are not working for you, and they're releasing them. They're trying to change in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing for what it is that they think you see them as. Let's go ahead and get tarot and look into how they currently think you're feeling. So how does Pile 2's person currently think that Pile 2 is feeling? Okay, we have the Five of Cups. the Hanged Man. Okay, we have the King of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, and the Hermit. Let's keep going. How do they currently think you're feeling? Okay, we have the Queen of Cups, the Star, and the Three of Cups. And then on the back of the deck, we have the King of Wands, which is interesting because we had the King of Wands as the bottom of the deck energy for pile 1 as well. Okay. So, I get the feeling that for some of you, you have asked for space, or they're under the impression that you're wanting space of some kind. They feel as though there are other things in your life currently that are taking up space, that are taking your attention away from them, that you are currently focusing on in order to heal, in order to grow. They get the feeling that you're not as invested in this connection. You don't really have a set outcome or a set plan for how this connection goes. If anything, it seems as though they feel like you would rather be by yourself or would rather have something very casual while you sort through whatever it is that is heavy on your mind currently. I also get the feeling with the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups here that they feel as though you currently feel like this person is worthy of your time. This person is a very good person, but not like a perfect match. Like this isn't, they feel as though you think that you two aren't like soulmates, or like this isn't just your person. Like we have a King of Pentacles and then a Queen of Cups. These are different suits. Like perhaps this person is much more logical, much more rigid in their thinking, or very much type A, whereas you are opposite of that. They get the feeling that you are feeling as though there's something a little bit off that doesn't quite mesh entirely well together in this connection. But they think that the space that you're looking for, or the space that you've asked for, or perhaps you've ended it altogether, whatever the case may be, they get the feeling that this is not a permanent thing, that there is going to be growth, that they are going to get that vision in which they really wanted, that I was talking about in the beginning of this reading. They really feel as though this is a temporary thing, and with time you're going to see that there is more to this connection than perhaps you realized. I do think it's interesting that we have two kings here, and then we also have the Three of Cups. So there could be an element of them feeling as though there's somebody else involved that you are putting your attention to right now, giving your attention to. But it doesn't have to actually be a person. Like I said, there's something else that's calling your attention. And with the Five of Cups here, it could be that you're mourning another person, or trying to work on things with another person, or perhaps there's just something else going on in your life that requires your attention. But I do get the feeling that there's an element here of you focusing on something else or someone else, that they are really they're really adamant on believing that that's what's happening. With the Eight of Pentacles and the Three of Cups, I would say that they might even feel as though you feel like you would be better off as friends. Like there's just this element here of like perhaps them feeling as though you see them as more of a platonic type of partner rather than a romantic one. Yeah, this person definitely doesn't feel as though you are all in. Let's go ahead and see how this makes them feel. How does this assumption make pile 2 feel? Okay, we have the gallery of those who came before. Okay, so number 24, the gallery of those who came before. Number 8, the one who hides the sun. Left out with the wolves. Oh, geez. Okay, and then we have make it look like the night in alchemy. Okay, so how does this make them feel? This is something that they're really ruminating on. Like, I get the feeling that they have decided to take this personally rather than come at it from a perspective of their higher self, realizing that perhaps one, they're overthinking this, or perhaps they are jumping to conclusions or letting their insecurities or past wounds get the better of them. Like, that could be what's happening here. There's definitely an element of rumination here, of them taking whatever is going on between the two of you to heart, rather than seeing that perhaps there's more to this story than what they know. But yeah, I think that this is definitely something, they feel wounded, and they feel as though this is something that happens to them often. They feel a great deal of rejection. They feel rejected because of the assumptions that they've made. And the assumptions could be accurate. Or it could simply be that the two of you simply just have different outlooks on how a connection is supposed to look. There's so many possibilities of that leave this connection open to misinterpretation if the two of you are in fact different. Very different in how you go about life. But they don't feel good. They don't feel confident. They feel like they've been left out in the cold. They feel like they don't know the entire truth of what's going on. And still, with the last card coming out as alchemy, there's still this element of wanting to transform this into something that looks more, that is more in alignment with what it is that they desire with you. Let's go ahead and get you some advice. What advice is there for pile 2? Okay, we have patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. And we have health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. So, I mean, there's many ways to interpret this, and obviously you should look into the ways that sit right with you, the ways that it calls out to you. But from what I'm seeing with health, based on the assumptions that this person has made, what this is telling me is that it's okay to put yourself first, and it's okay to focus on your own healing before you focus on another person. But of course, take these pieces of advice as they resonate for you. And then let's go ahead and get you one from the Love and Relationships deck. What advice is there for pile 2 when it comes to their connection? Okay, we have self-worth. I cast off all concerns about what people think of me. I know I'm a totally kick-ass person, and my kick-assness can never be diminished by rejection. So people can think what they think and feel what they feel. In the meantime, I'll just keep on knowing what I know without thinking about what they are thinking about what I already know, I think. All right, pile 2. Well, this is what I'm seeing for you today. I'd love to hear about how this resonated. I love reading through all of the comments, so please share if you feel inclined. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can do so in my Etsy shop. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to read for you, and I hope that you subscribe so that I'll have the chance to read for you again soon. Bye! Hello, pile 3. So today's pick a card reading is looking into how they think you currently feel. And before we get started, we're going to look into what their current feelings are for you, as well as how they think you are currently seeing them. And then we'll go ahead and get into how they think you feel, how this assumption is making them feel, as well as some advice, of course. So to start pile 3, when it comes to how your person is currently feeling, we have the King and we have number 17, the Fates. So there's an element here of feeling protective over this connection, feeling as though this connection is something very special and wanting to do right by you, wanting to do right in this connection, wanting to take leadership. There's definitely a masculine energy here of somebody who wants to lead this connection to where it's meant to be, where it's destined to be. There's also an element here with the Fates of them accepting you as you are, of accepting where things are at, accepting where things are headed, and putting a lot of trust in source, in the universe, to guide this connection to where it's meant to be, rather than try to force things into place when it's not time yet, rather than try to change you in order to fit their ideology of what things should look like. They're really coming at this connection from a place of acceptance, of flow, of allowing things to be as they are and allowing you to show up as who you are so that they can feel this connection from an authentic standpoint. But yeah, I would say that most importantly, like the biggest message here is that this person is definitely viewing this connection as something that's special and as something that is very, very much destined to be in their life. And I'm not necessarily sure if they've discovered the reasoning as to why this connection is important, but they have a gut feeling that this connection is very important, that you are very important in their journey. So that's what I'm seeing for how they are currently feeling. When it comes to how they think you are currently seeing them, we have the snow leopard, and the keyword is astute. And we have shrimp, and the keyword is collect. We also have gossip. The light attributes of gossip are awakens consideration for the feelings of others, honoring trust, and the shadow attributes are thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information, betraying confidences. And we have the lizard. Okay, so this person thinks that you see them as somebody who's very intuitive, very in touch with your needs, very in touch with the subtle changes that perhaps you have throughout your day. This person seems to think that you see them as somebody who wants to treat you very well, who wants to be very gentle with you, who is very gentle and kind, compassionate, and sensitive themselves, sensitive to the world around them. They're under the impression that you recognize that they are a sensitive being, who's very considerate of you, who wants to do right by you. But just because they're sensitive doesn't necessarily mean that that's all you're seeing them as something delicate. With the snow leopard here, this is telling me that they also feel as though you are seeing them as somebody who is taking the lead in this connection and helping guide it and helping it grow to its fullest potential. They think you see them as the leader, as the person that you are kind of following the cue. Does that make sense? Following the lead? I hope you get what I'm trying to say. That came out of nowhere and I don't think it makes sense. Like following their cues. There we go. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. They seem to be somebody who they think you see them as somebody who's very thoughtful to your needs, to the things that you really are interested in. They try to take note of certain things that make you smile. Something like that. There's just an element here of them paying attention to the little things, to the small details. But let's go ahead and look into how they think you feel about them. How does pile 3's person think that pile 3 feels about them? Okay, we have the 6 of Pentacles, the 4 of Wands, how does pile 3's person, okay, the Star, the Four of Cups, the Two of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, Four of Pentacles, the Magician, Justice, the Three of Wands and the Ace of Swords, and then on the back of the deck we have the Six of Swords. Okay, so they're under the impression that this feeling that they feel is mutual. This specialness that they feel for this connection is mutual. Like there's definitely a reason as to why you two met, and they feel as though this feeling is not unrequited. Like you realize that there is something bigger than what meets the eye about this connection. But they also get the feeling that there is an element here of you feeling fearful. Like of you feeling very, very comfortable, very connected to this person, very happy to have met this person, feeling like this is a blessing. But at the same time, your walls are up still, in the sense that you recognize that this could be something that potentially could really hurt you, because there's so much joy that could be brought to this connection. With the possibility of there being joy, there's also the possibility of it being taken, or of you losing it, or of things moving in a direction that doesn't feel right to you. And so they're acknowledging that they think you feel fearful, and because of that a little bit reserved, or like you don't want to put too much hope into this connection, even though with the Star and the Magician here, this is telling me that they also feel as though you feel like this is a dream come true, this is a wish fulfillment, this is what you've been working so hard to manifest. They think you feel this on a soul level as well. And with the Four of Cups and Justice here, I get the feeling that there's an element of being, like perhaps in the past there have been people who have hurt you, or people who have let you down, and they seem to be under the impression that currently you're focusing on those past wounds, those fears that bubble up because of the past, rather than focusing on what's being offered to you. And they don't think that you're doing this without, like, they don't think that you're doing this blindly without you wanting to fix it. With Justice here, I get the feeling that they also feel as though you are somebody who recognizes these patterns within yourself, and you're trying to make it so that it's not like this. But the fear is there. And then we have the Two of Wands, the Three of Wands, and the Ace of Swords. They feel as though you see the potential of this connection very clearly, and you know that you want to choose this connection time and time again. There's also an element of peace here. With the Six of Swords, they feel as though you feel, even though there's fear, I get the feeling that this isn't something that they themselves have instilled, or at least that's what their impression of what's going on is that they themselves have not caused this fear. And because of this, there's definitely an element of comfort here. Like they feel as though you feel comfortable in their presence. You feel like you've known this person for a very long time. There's just an element of perhaps even having come out of like a really rocky connection in the recent past. And you're looking at this connection and feeling the peace that you did not feel. And of course, that's a very specific example, but whatever the case may be, there's an element of peace here after something very rocky having had happened. And keep in mind that this is just from their perspective, so this could be completely off. And if that's the case, perhaps a conversation needs to be had, just to clarify, or to see if even this is your pile. I think that you would know, though, whether or not this is your pile, because this is definitely a connection that feels a very strong connection to one another. But let's go ahead and see how the assumptions that they've made about how you're feeling makes them feel. How does this make pile 3's person feel? Okay, we have the all-knower, the one who hides the sun, fear that the light will bring judgment. This is so interesting. Okay, and then we have service and hiding. This person fears vulnerability. This is so funny because everything in the everything that I've seen so far is showing me somebody who feels very deeply for you, who cares very much for you. And based on what I was seeing with what they think you're feeling, it feels like perhaps based now on the cards that have come out that they are projecting. Because this person fears intimacy. This person fears vulnerability. They know that you feel the same way as them. And this brings them a lot of joy with service here. This brings out this desire in them to be good to you, to treat you how you deserve to be treated, to show you how much they care for you. But there's so much here. Like, look at, we have hiding and this person is covering their eyes. And then we have fear that the light will bring judgment and this person is covering their face. This person has their own fears from the past that are spilling over into how they approach this connection. And I think that they too are probably working on it if they actually are projecting right now. I would say that they too are recognizing this and are working on it. But that's what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and get you guys some advice. What advice is there for pile 3 when it comes to this connection? Okay, we have relationships. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. And worry. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. Let's also get one from the Love and Relationships deck. What advice is there for pile 3 when it comes to their connection? Grace. I face disagreements with grace and flow through the ups and downs of my relationships without getting thrown off center. With grace, I'm able to keep my cool, be my best self, and not resort to name calling, even when that crappy poo-poo face is being a douchey barf monster. All right, pile 3, well, this is what I'm seeing for you today. I would love to hear about how this resonated. I do read all of the comments, and I get really happy reading your comments, especially when they're kind. So please feel free to share. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can do so in my Etsy shop, and the link is in the description box of this video. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to read for you today. I truly appreciate it. This is something that I love doing, and I hope that you subscribe so that I will have the opportunity to read for you in another video soon. Bye! Hello, pile 4. So today's pick a card reading is looking into how they think you are feeling. And before we get started, we're going to look into how they're currently feeling about you. We're going to look into how they think you see them. Then we'll get into how they think you feel, as well as what those assumptions that they've made are making them feel. And finally, we'll get some advice. So first and foremost, pile 4, when it comes to how this person is currently feeling, we have the Lover, number 28, building blocks, and Alethea. Okay, so what this is telling me is that they feel as though there are no more secrets between the two of you. It seems like some sort of truth has come to light in the recent past, or is currently being worked through, where there's been clarity, where anything that was kind of being hidden has been revealed. There's been a revelation of some kind, and now everything is out in the open. And perhaps it has caused some damage because we have building blocks here. This is telling me that this is a work in progress. They feel as though they have work to do to perhaps repair this connection or help this connection grow further. It might be that the truth wasn't anything that was damaging. It could be that the truth was something that really helped this connection grow further, but it's not necessarily where it needs to be in their point of view. But they're willing to work on it. There's this eagerness here that I'm feeling with building blocks That's telling me that they really have a desire for this connection to expand, to grow, to evolve into what it's meant to be. And this person, obviously with the Lover here, has very strong feelings for you. This person is devoted to you, I would say. Definitely feels something very, very special about this connection. And if they've told you that they love you, that's because that's the truth. There's love here, there's care, there's concern, there's a sweetness for you here. So that's what I'm seeing for what they're currently feeling. When it comes to how they think you see them, pile 4, we have Puffin, and the key word is devoted. We also have the Avenger. The light attributes are a desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. And the shadow attribute is resorting to violence in the name of a cause. And the Exorcist. The light attribute is freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses, and the shadow attribute is fear of facing your own demons. And lastly, we have the Panther. Okay, so I would say that for the majority of you, there was definitely a truth that came out that perhaps did damage at first to this connection. The Panther is all about purging. It's all about releasing what is no longer serving you. It can be a very, it requires a lot of bravery to come into the Panther energy and to purge what is no longer serving you, to admit when there are self-destructive tendencies. And it seems like this person feels as though you're viewing them as somebody who has damaged this connection in some sort of way, but who is trying to make it right, who is showing up for you day after day, showing you that they are willing to do whatever it takes in order to get this connection back to where it was, if not even stronger. They seem to think that you are viewing them as somebody who is all in this connection, somebody who is willing to, somebody who sees this as a long-term thing, somebody who sees this as perhaps a lifelong connection, but definitely a long-term connection. They feel as though you're seeing them as somebody who is relationship material, or who has the potential to be relationship material, while like the more and more they prove to you that they can in fact be trusted, or that they can in fact show up for you in the way in which you deserve. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing for when it comes to how they think you are currently seeing them. Let's go ahead and get the tarot and look into how they think you're currently feeling. Oh man, I hate it when that happens. Okay. How does pile 4's person think that pile 4 is currently feeling? How do they currently think you're feeling? Okay, so we have the 5 of Wands, the Hanged Man. How do they currently think that you're feeling? The 10 of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, the King of Wands, how do they currently think that you're feeling? We have the 10 of Cups, the Chariot, Justice, the Hierophant, and the 2 of Swords. And then on the back of the deck we have the High Priestess. Okay. So I think that first and foremost, this person feels as though you feel as though you two are soulmates or counterparts in some sort of way, a divine counterpart. They feel as though you are very protective of this connection. You don't want this connection to come to an end. This connection is worth fighting for, is what they feel you are feeling. There's also an element here of them recognizing that you have this desire, or perhaps not recognizing, but assuming that you have this desire to fix what's been damaged. I think with this Chariot, I love this deck because of the imagery. It gives so many messages in it. But if you look at this card, it looks like there's cracks in the surface. And what I'm getting is that they feel as though you are wanting to come in and fix the damage that has been done. But at the same time, with the Hanged Man here, you're recognizing that it's not up to you to fix the damage. It's up to them, and you're trying to give them the space in which to do so, in which to prove to you that they are in fact serious about this connection. With the Ten of Pentacles and Justice, this is telling me that you do have a desire to find forgiveness, or for the vast majority of you, I do feel as though there was an error in judgment or a mistake that was made on this person's part that they are now trying to fix. There was a breach of trust or something like that. There was just something big that happened that has changed the way this connection is being viewed, or has changed the course of where this connection is headed. And it feels like you have a desire, you see the long-term potential of this still. They get the feeling that you are working really hard on making this connection right too, on bringing the scales back into balance, on perhaps forgiving this person. I also feel with the Hierophant here that there is an element of perhaps like monogamy, or like going about things in a very traditional way that perhaps you in the past had not really considered. But that, I think, is for a select few of you. Another message that's coming through with the Ace of Wands and the Hierophant is a desire to start over, is a desire to bring this connection back to the way it was. But again, with the King of Wands and then the Two of Swords, there's an element here of you allowing this person the space to do it themselves, to show you what they mean, to show you the effort or the desire they have for this connection, rather than try to repair it yourself. There's an element here of needing them to show you in order for them to be believed. But at the end of the day, with the High Priestess here, there's also an element of you feeling, according to them feeling as though you feel like you have to still put complete trust in this connection, complete trust in yourself to make the right choice, which can be a little scary. But I think intuitively what they feel is that you intuitively know that this connection is right for you still. Let's go ahead and look into how this makes them feel. How does this assumption make them feel? We have the Fire Mother. Make it look like the night. So the first thing that comes to mind with the Fire Mother, number 9 and number 53, make it look like the night, is that this person feels inspired to do the right thing, inspired to become a better version of themselves, inspired to treat you better. And also they feel as though there's hope here. There's hope in this turmoil that they're feeling, that perhaps things can go back to the way they are and things aren't as bad as they seem, because there's hope here. How does this make them feel? We have Gifts from the Past, Pink Bubble Fairy. They feel incredibly lucky that they're being given a second chance, is what I would say. They feel very blessed that you're still in their life, and they're really envisioning for themselves, they're manifesting something with you. They're manifesting a brighter future. And we have suppression of a star being by hands unworthy. There's also, okay, so this is telling me that there's like a huge amount of guilt on this person's end. Like they feel as though you are deserving of so much more than what they have given you and what they possibly can give you. Like they don't feel good enough. This person doesn't feel good enough. They feel an immense amount of guilt for what they have put you through and what they currently are still putting you through, as you have to learn to trust them again, or whatever the case may be for the two of you. Whatever's going on here, it seems like there's a huge amount of guilt on their end and they feel as though you deserve better. Let's go ahead and get you some advice. What advice is there for pile 4? Okay, so we have judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique challenges and path. And we have, okay, I'm going to take both of these. We have balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. So there's a lot here indicating judgment. We have judgment, and then this card mentions judgment as well. And then we have guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. There's a book that, and I think I've mentioned this on my channel when this card has come out. It's called Meditations to Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And my favorite, it's like this cute little book that I got at a thrift store, and it has like, it's just alphabetically organized on different topics. And then there's a little phrase for each topic. And for guilt, which is my favorite one that I've read in that book, the little phrase is, I value my freedom, so I neither give nor receive guilt. And so whenever I see this card, that's what comes to mind. And obviously these are meant for you to interpret however best suits you. Your intuition is really the strongest thing here. So you should always trust your judgment and what messages are coming through for you first and foremost. It's just something that, and of course that might not even hold true for that phrase, I value my freedom, blah, blah, blah. That might not even hold true for your situation. So please don't take anything that I ever say as something that's set in stone. Let's go ahead and also get you advice from the Love and Relationships deck. What advice is there for pile 4 when it comes to their connection? Okay, we have compassion. I choose compassion over criticism. Walking a mile in other people's shoes reminds me they might be going through something tougher than I think. Like their shoes are too tight, or they're the kind of shoes that are too casual to be dressy or too dressy to be casual. Basically, I have no idea what they're dealing with privately, so I'll cut them some slack and be thankful for the shoes I've been dealt. All right, pile 4, well, this is what I'm seeing for you today. If this resonated, please feel free to share. I read all of the comments and I find so much happiness in doing this. So please share if you feel so inclined. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can do so in my Etsy shop. The link is in my description box. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to read for you. And I hope that you I hope that you subscribe so that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye. Bye.